Dean, welcome on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell me, everyone knows you as the yacht chef on Instagram.
Yeah.
What's your background basically?
Yeah. So start from the beginning, I guess. 20 years as a chef, and 12 of those years on yachting.
Yeah.
But I started in restaurants and did my apprenticeship. Did a 4-year apprenticeship back in Australia.
Yeah.
And then basically took off straight away as soon as I was finished my apprenticeship. I was 18, went straight to Europe, and had traveled Europe for a couple of years, working in the French Alps and the Greek islands as a chef in a chalet and
private chef. Yeah.
Private chef. And we went to the south of France in that period and saw these big boats. I think we were in Antibes at the time, and totally unprepared. Walking the docks with our board shorts and singlets on, and flip flops, and just trying to ask for jobs on these massive boats.
Yeah.
And they were quite nice to us actually.
What year was that?
This must have been 2000 and I want to say 2010 maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit earlier, but yeah, with no STCW, no ENG1, nothing, just
trying your luck,
just thinking we're like hot shit.
Yeah.
I'm a chef for the last 6 years, so we're really cool, and I thought we'd get jobs easy, but we basically failed. But
when you say we, was it you and a mate, or?
Yeah, me and a good friend. He's a chef also from my hometown, and we tried our luck, and we obviously didn't get a job, so we went back to Australia, and I actually happened to get a job on the Great Barrier Reef on like liveaboard dive boat.
Yeah.
And this was a super interesting situation because it was 35 meters and we had 40 guests and about 20.
35 meters, 40 guests.
35 meters, 40 guests and 20 crew. And I was sole chef. And it wasn't to this.
This is a good learning curve to get on the boat now, to get on the yacht.
Huge. Like I learned time management and being able to cook for a lot of people. So it helped when I was a sole chef cooking for the guests and crew.
Yeah.
So that was quite handy. That was for about a year or two. And then I got my first job offer on a 30 meter, which was in Australia, New Zealand, and the South Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically started my yachting industry in, not the most common place, which would usually be the Caribbean or the Med.
The Med being the number one place for most yachts.
Exactly. But I was on this 30 meter. I was a chef deck as well, the only deckhand, the only chef on board. So that was also very interesting.
Chef deck.
Chef deck.
You don't hear that a lot around here.
No, well, it's like there might be another deckhand, but sorry, it's just out of focus.
I think it's because we're moving. She doesn't like the hello, we're here. Yeah.
Anyway.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, that would have been a problem.
Just for everyone watching, we're basically on the boat in the heart of the yacht show, and I don't know if you can see, but we're kind of rocking a little bit. So I think the camera is like trying to focus on something, but the background is moving, so they doesn't really understand what's happening.
Hopefully it stays focused.
So if we're blurry, don't worry, it's not you, it's the camera.
You're not drunk, yeah.
Maybe you are.
Maybe. So I basically was on that yacht for 3 years, traveling, these incredible remote places, which was tough.
3 years as a sole chef on that. With that many people must have been like a lot.
Yeah.
And the level of food that you would do for crew and for guests, do you think it matched what you're doing now, or?
No, definitely not. I mean, I think it took me a good 7 years to be comfortable in my skin and my. I wasn't trying to be a Michelin chef. I wasn't trying to keep up with these trends.
Yeah.
Like for so long, that's what people thought, the guests wanted, but you find out that they actually don't really want that stuff that often.
I know.
And it took me a long time to feel comfortable. And finally, the last 3 years, I'm like very, comfortable with what I do and how I cook for the guests now. And it's nothing, it's not foams and gels.
Because maybe you're not trying too hard.
No.
There's something I realize is like, as a chef, there's many times when you really want to show what you can do. You really want to impress, and you forget about the basics, which is it's food. And people will recognize if it's good and if it's tasty. And if you just focus on this, sometimes you can just do that perfectly and then put a little bit of twist on presentation.
Yeah.
But don't focus on the technique. That's my idea. That's my main thought on that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we have access to the best ingredients in the world. We can get the best ingredients.
Yeah.
We're not here to make a profit. We're not here to turn a profit on that plate of food. You can serve up a $300 plate of food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, like really ingredient focused now and just like getting the best produce and not really messing with it too much.
Yeah.
So that was a very long learning curve. Being on those smaller boats as well is very different. You're not using provisioners a lot and you're going out, and which is kind of cool though. Like
It is very cool, but did you find most of the time what you wanted?
No, not a lot of time.
Because I know I've done it. I think we were in Malaysia or something, or Indonesia. Beautiful remote island, but I went ashore and there was nothing. And there was just a guy on the scooter that took me to the shop. It was basically, they had like 3 things on the shop. It was nothing.
Papaya and coconut.
Not even. They had just dry stuff.
Yeah, wow.
He was so remote that it was.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And then the boss is like, "So, what did you get?" I'm like,
"Where
nothing."
Nowhere. But I think that makes you creative as well with what you have.
And it also gets you back down, saying like, be realistic about what you're gonna find, because it's beautiful, it's remote, but then there's things that comes with that, and the lack of provision was one of them.
Yeah, it was tough, but it was. I appreciate being in the Med where you can like get stuff like that, with these incredible provisioners and projects.
This is a great place to be as a chef, as a yacht chef, because here everything is easier.
So easy.
You got the best fruit, not the best. Okay, there is good stuff all around the world, but you have the overall level of everything here. The quality is insane.
Yeah.
So it's easier here than it is
Caribbean,
in Galapagos, or in Alaska, or in like Malaysia, or these places.
Exactly. Yeah. I know this is like the usual milk run, which is the Med, but for a chef, it's a dream to be able to come here and have the best, some of the best produce.
Like I say, it makes our job easier.
Exactly. Yeah.
So much easier. Like, it's not easy, but it's easier because you've got a good base. Like, if you want a tomato salad, I've got these amazing, colorful tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's going to be easy.
You don't have to do too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. So that was
3 years on that boat.
3 years on that boat. Very long time, but I learned a lot and, appreciate where I am now. Been through like on sailboats, 37-meter sailboats, which was traveling all through Asia and stuff. And then, I was super lucky. But I skipped that whole Soul Chef, that 40, 55-meter range.
I had a chat this morning with a chef. It's his first season, Conrad, if you're watching. It's his first season. He's a Soul Chef on the 45, 50 meters, and he wanted to step up. And I said, be careful, because like the 45 to 53, 4 meters is kind of like the danger zone, because you're going to have a lot more guests or a lot more crew, and you're still alone. And when you jump to 55, 58, 60 meters, boom, you got someone else. You got 2 humans in the kitchen.
All of a sudden it gets easier again.
Another set of hands. Like it's incredible.
Yeah, it's almost like kind of difficult Soul Chef, really difficult, and then you hit that tipping point to 60 meters, and then it becomes easy again. And then once again it goes back up to.
And the funny thing is, the salaries are not that much lower because you got more help. Like it's almost the same or better.
No, better, yeah.
It's like,
which is crazy.
But I wanna press on this, that I think it's really important to start on a small boat as a Soul Chef, to get it done, to try it, and to just suffer for 2 years, I think, or 2 seasons. So you understand really what it's like. And then you're like, okay, you can appreciate it. Like, okay, now I can focus on crew and then on guests, or and focus just on guests.
Yeah, definitely.
And help my sous chef to just learn from me and grow and, make amazing crew food, because that's also so important, I think.
No, for sure. I think it's very important to start at the bottom and, work your way up. I think you need to know how to, time management and all these different things that you have to do as a Soul Chef.
Yeah.
And it helps you when you become a head chef on a bigger boat, for sure. So I kind of skipped that, which was amazing. I got an opportunity through my social media captain that followed me and saw my work, and he was like, I love the way.
You started social media content when you were in Australia?
Yeah, on the 30-meter. Basically, they were great owners, and they allowed me to film. And I was basically the only person that kind of could at that time. It was a very secretive industry, 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, no filming at all.
Yeah.
And these guys were super chill. We're doing really cool stuff all over the world. And I think it was just that combination of like the right timing and showing what it was like to be a yacht chef.
Yeah.
It just kind of worked.
Yeah.
And took off from there. And it's kind of been, I've been getting jobs ever since then through social media.
It's the best marketing for you. Like, at least people know you're there, and they know you, and they can see, your personality, which is, another big thing on boats, I think, because when I speak to captain about hiring a chef, and depending where the captain is from, you get a pretty good idea of who they would like to work with, or who it would be, which nationality would be easier for them. Like if they're from the UK, if you got an English chef, they're gonna it's gonna click. They're gonna work out very well. So it's personality is very important, because you can be the best chef, you can have worked in all the top 10 best restaurants in the world, but if we take you out of this restaurant, put you on a boat, you gotta cook, but you also gotta get along with everyone.
Yeah, you gotta live with
and you gotta play nice, and you gotta listen to what they say and their feedback, and even if sometimes they're not maybe what you want to hear.
Yeah, you have to.
The social part is so important on boats.
I think it is. And, I copped a lot of shit for a long time, from captains and engineers. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? I'm like, and I didn't really have a vision in mind, but I think it is so important. It shows your personality.
Yeah.
It shows other things that you like to do, your, outside of work. And then it shows your food, obviously. It's your food portfolio, it can be. But yeah, I mean, obviously helped me get all the jobs that I got since then. And luckily I can back it up as well. It's not just...
Exactly.
It's not just, pretty pictures, but I try to be as real as possible. My food isn't incredible like some of these other yacht chefs, but I want to be real. I want to stay true and but
somehow it also forces you to, to think a lot about what you put and how you prepare your food, and because it's going to be a lot of eyes on it. It's not just a table of 6 or 10 people
exactly
that's going to see it and eat it. It's like, you're open to feedback,
exactly. Yeah,
and I'm sure you get a lot of that as well.
Yeah, no, I do, and I know there's a lot of there's always hate out there with anything.
Keyboard warriors,
but
right?
it's you got to accept that and kind of just do your thing, and I think it's going to benefit you. So yeah, I mean that's how I got the job on Loon now, which I'm on, which is a 68-meter charter boat, and we did I don't know how many weeks of charters. It was a lot of weeks of charters, and we just kind of we're not that old.
Yeah.
So that whole social media realm helps. We're booking charters through Instagram and YouTube, and I think it's kind of the future for boats. They need to have a social media team of sorts.
Look, there's no newspaper that's gonna put your boat on the front page. There's no newspaper anymore. Anyway.
No.
So I think the internet and the social media and the videos side of it is so important now.
No.
People are visual. They want to see, and they're watching. They're watching that screen that we have. It's on
all the time.
It's so powerful.
It is. It's very powerful. And you're seeing the jobs pop up now. I don't know if you've seen them, but videographers / decks and stuff like that.
Yeah, drone pilot.
It's insane.
All this stuff, which is amazing.
Yeah,
it makes it even better because you can create some. Also as a charter boat, I think it's essential now to have a library of videos of this is what you can do. This is the experience you can get when you come on a boat.
Yeah,
not just about the food, but the service, the cocktails. The event you can do, it's incredible. You can do so much, and like you said, it used to be very private, and now it is still very private for the most part. But there's a little bit of it that we can get a sneak peek on what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, we're not showing guests, we're not showing any private, the charters if they wish to not, have things filmed. We respect that and everything else. But it's like these clients can also, can jump online and see what it would be like. They're spending $500, $1,000 or $1 million a week on these boats. It's it's kind of cool to see what it might be like. I think I would want to if I'm spending that much money.
Yes, I think so too. I think so too.
And the
food, what do I get? Well, you get this. Look at this nice book. It's
and the food's very important.
Yeah,
and it's I'd want to make sure I have a chef on there that's gonna give me the food that I want.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So, Dean, quick. I read something that have you been captured by pirates? So Libyan pirates.
How did you find out about that?
I did a little bit of research.
Did you? Okay.
Have you been or have you not been?
Yeah. Okay. So we were. Can't say which boat it is.
No, it's fine. We don't need names. Just the general story is
Okay. So we did a 6-week crossing from Thailand to Spain.
Yeah.
And there was some really bad weather as we came out of what's the canal? Why am I forgetting?
The Suez.
The Suez, yeah. Suez Canal. As we came out of the canal, we were actually really meant to go further up, but we followed the coast where it wasn't too rough.
Yeah.
And it was maybe 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and I got woken up by the deckhand, and she's like, "You need to get up now. We need, there's something happening." We had this big. It was actually a Darman old tug, right, with a aircraft carrier gun, one of those spinning ones that you sit on the seat.
What?
Pointing at the boat and two guys with like machine guns, basically backed up, trying to come alongside us. The first thing the captain says is basically he didn't want the paintwork to be scratched. You know, I was like, mate, that's the least of our concern right now is the paintwork. So they said,
Fenders out.
yeah, fenders out. We tried it. It was just too rough.
Yeah.
So they convinced us. We were outside the 12-mile range, which is
International
waters. We were fine. They kind of lured us in and said, you have to follow us into the port. And so we end up this dodgy, still remember the name of the Darwin boat. It's called the Benghazi.
Mm-hmm.
I found a picture once before. It's crazy. I don't even know if Darwin knows they've got this thing. But Libya is this war-torn country that, I don't know, the government is basically, they're pirates. Like they're just doing whatever they want. So they led us into the port. The sun was coming up and we were kind of looking around and this place was there was sunken boats in this marina thing. And they docked and then they tied us to the boat.
Yeah.
But they tied us with the eyes were on our boat so they could lock us in. So we can go anywhere.
Yeah.
We're all tired. We'd been up for, all night. These guys have been on watch and they were just saying that the ISIS is out there where we saved you. And we're like, okay, can we talk to the Navy? There was a Navy ship out there. They were saying, and they stopped us from like grabbing our radios. I'm like, this is weird. Like they had all their army, some had army uniforms, some didn't.
Yeah.
They were kind of just doing their thing. And so they held us the whole entire day until sunset because all our embassies were contacted by management.
Yeah.
So we had Australian, English, Brazilian, all of these embassies got contact and they put pressure on the local, this guy was running this, I don't know, the gang, whatever he had there, this general guy.
Yeah.
So he came down with 3 trucks, these Hiluxes with the same kind of guns on the back. We're like, what is going on? And we had to film this. If you've seen these like ISIS videos, but they got the camera, they had like 20 guys behind us and they're like, you need to say, we didn't touch the women, we let you go, no one got hurt. Did this like, what? Yeah. And we're like, what the hell is going on here? And they put so much pressure on these guys, they had to let us go. But yeah, we got out of there on the boat and then actually we're coming into Majorca and they saw that we went into Libya.
Yeah.
Helicopter. Navy comes straight up, didn't even ask. Launched onto the boat. They went into the cabins, got us up and we're just like, not again. But they saw that they thought we might have smuggled.
Yeah, of course.
So it was like, not again. We thought it was happening all over again. So we got out. I think if the embassies didn't come in there and put pressure on these guys, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah.
But it's, wouldn't recommend going to Libya.
It's one for your grandchildren.
It is, yeah. It was crazy. I was putting food in the Citadel in the engine room and just getting ready to, if any moment it turned a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you never know in their situation. It seemed okay, but it was very, they told the girls to cover up and all this other stuff. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something you don't see in the Med, luckily.
No, it is right there.
Yeah.
You don't really hear about it. So, yeah, that was, this is the thing about yachting. Like, you have so many stories.
You get to places that are incredible. You get to places that are not usually that visited.
Exactly.
Like we talked earlier, like isolated islands and, whatnot. And
you
say you got to go through the Suez Canal to get out of the, Southeast Asia.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool what we do. And, there are a lot of positives to this industry, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Get to see some cool places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dean, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I know you have a lot to do today.
Gotta get back to work.
That as well.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ciao.
Thank you.